Hey, wagwan, what y'all deal with? So, the weather is definitely letting us know summertime is not over. Because I don't know about y'all, but it's getting pretty hot and humid around here.
So hot and hot.
Jumping all the way back up to the 90s and 100s, you know what I'm saying?
Good grace, it's getting hot in here.
I'm trying to touch that true August weather. It's like I ain't going nowhere just yet. So, what I want to come on here and talk about is something that I've been seeing going around a lot more recently, and that is Cam Newton talking about having, 8 children by 3 different women. I've been seeing a lot of people posting about that part, even though there was more to the interview, which he did with Dr. Bryant. But I want to talk about that part specifically. I'm going to let y'all see a little bit of what they was talking about, and I'll be right back.
A lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not high functioning. I'm not married, right? I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
No,
baby.
Cool.
It's
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more. I just want God to bring them.
Oh, okay. And you have, so you just...
Because my point is this. My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce.
You're being very selectively active, okay? So you're choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you thus far. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all, will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife, and then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses.
So, there are 2 ways to look at this. I heard him say having children and building his life around that rather than marriage is something that he was encouraged more towards because of fear. I do have an understanding of the fact that a lot more women initiate divorces than men, and men definitely come out on the lower side of things as it relates to divorce. I also have to look at the other side of it when it talks about fathers in the household. The one thing that I have been made clear about is the fact that you have a certain amount of energy that you put in as a parent. And I believe that the father's role in the life of his children is one that is critical, plays a pertinent role in how they do grow up to be. It's important in the life of the sons just as much as it's important in the life of daughters. Because he did mention putting money in his children's pockets or making sure that they was well taken care of financially. Some fathers do think that that's the only way that they are required to put energy into their household. And because of that, I do think what they end up doing is missing out. Now, one thing that I have to say, if you have a high number of children, it ain't easy to give every single one of those children the attention that they might need from you. So in having 8 children, especially if they're not in the same household, you might miss out on opportunities to be able to give them what they might need. And even if you are giving as much as you possibly can, it's possible that because there's such a high number of children, you're not giving each and every one of them what they might need from you as a father. So I thought that was interesting, and that was a very interesting piece of the interview. Him actually going into detail as it relates to how he felt about it and, everything that she said in response to it, I thought was a very interesting way to look at it. Being able to function as much as you can within each one of those children's lives. And that can be something that's not easy to do. He was saying that he wants more children and everything like that. And I think it might be something to think about if you're able to put in and give all of these children what they might need from you. Because we do have generations of fathers that were in the house even and not able to give their children what they needed. Work, put money in the house, and that was pretty much the end of it. But I think that because of that, we have a lot of broken people coming out of households that did not get what they needed from the father. The next thing that I want to talk about today, high and low functionality as it relates to men and women and how that applies to relationships.
Research, you spoke about low function individuals, male and female. What's the percentage of males or females that you counsel that are low functioning.
Interesting enough, I would say that there are 70% low functioning women, 40% low functioning men.
What? With those low functioning men, identifies a woman to be high functioning?
A high functioning woman is a woman who wants you. She doesn't need you. And let me clear that up. When I say she doesn't need you, it doesn't mean she's independent. That means she is interdependent. I only not need you because my pain doesn't need your pain. My dysfunction doesn't need your dysfunction to feed it for us to be in this relationship, meaning I don't need a trauma bond with you. She wants the healed part of you, but has the capacity, because we're all human, we ain't perfect, to facilitate and deal with the unhealed part of you that's gonna show up in the relationship at some point. And hers is gonna show up too, mine is gonna show up too. Trauma bonds usually feel like the most intense, in love, deepest relationships because you got two, and most people who are low functioning, their pain, their trauma, they gonna flee, they gonna scream, they gonna hit, they gonna do whatever comes up, right? Fuck it, I'm mad. Whatever comes up, they there. There's no awareness, there's no stop, there's no nothing. I'm triggered, I'm inflamed, we just go there, let's tear this thing up. High functioning only means I feel them same feels. It's all there, right? But it's still dormant, it's still in me. And high functioning means I can regulate those emotions. Watch this and say, okay, right now, I'm ready to rip this man's head off. He got me all the way fucked up. Okay. So how do I relay that message to him where it's gonna be respectful, it's gonna be non-combative, while he still knows, you got me fucked up? Because I don't have to say those words for you to know, I think I went too far with Doc. And you still feel respected and loved, and we can still have an engaging, emotionally intelligent conversation that ends in resolve. But low functioning people gonna tear this thing up with no emotional regulation. They're also gonna choose a person who does it with them and allows them to do it. Because I only can do to you what you allow me to do. Because if I start cutting up in here and you say, Doc, we love you, love to have you here, but you gotta go and you're not welcome back. It's no pun intended, that's not our culture here. And that's not called fleeing. You emotionally, intelligently said, Doc, love you here, you're a great guest, but that's not our culture. We don't do that here. Now I have a choice to make. Do I wanna be in a relationship with Cam? Do I wanna be welcome back here? I'm with a dude who's turned up, he's a womanizer. He got all these women. He spent money on me. He treat me good. And what you said earlier, he D's me down. And so I come in and I tell him, no, I'm not a woman. I'm like wholesome. I'm not into casual sex. I don't do all that, but I'm in love with him. And he lets me know, check this out, baby. Daddy love you. There's a place for you here, but not like that. That woman has a choice to make too. She goes and takes self-inventory and says, do I want to do these things so I can fit in with daddy? Or do I want to stay true to who I am? But high functioning people have the ability to take a step back, internally, not physically, process what they feel, hear their emotions in the real space that they're saying, because my emotions curse people out and things all day, but I regulate it, code switch it, deliver the message so you're receptive to it and you feel it with love, but I'm saying the same damn thing I was saying in here. And now we have a relationship, now we have respect. We can go to heaven together.
As far as a high-functioning woman?
It's simple. High-functioning woman feels the same thing a low-functioning woman feels. She does two things differently. High-functioning woman can regulate her emotions to articulate it so it comes out with emotional intelligence, uses what she feels, and chooses with her healthy self and not her dysfunctional self.
Explain to me what a high-functioning man is.
A high-functioning man, identical to a woman. He can feel what he feels. He regulates his emotions and he chooses how he's going to deliver that message so that woman receives it and she's not armed and now we're at war. And he's also able to sit through hard, challenging conversations without fleeing or abandoning that woman and using his emotional intelligence that says, I hear you and I understand you, but baby, I don't agree with that one part.
There's a lot of things that I don't agree with.
I thought this was a good thing to kind of dig into because when it talks about high and low functionality, it's not talking about somebody being dirt or trash or somebody being better than somebody or anything like that. It's more so talking about how are you able to control yourself in a conversation. You might want to say, you know what, I ain't talking to you no more. You know what I'm saying? Get the hell out of my face.
Get the fuck out my face.
But are you able to convey it in a way to articulate what you actually feeling? Are you able to come into a conversation and be upset and still care about the other person's feelings and what you're talking about? And now we're talking about men and women, because a lot of the times women say, yeah, that's what he needs to do. But I think we need to look at ourselves also, especially as it relates to that mouth. Okay, it's one of those things when you talk about being a high or low functioning person, it does really dictate who you are going to be able to be in relationship with. If you're a person that does not pay attention to yourself, don't pay attention to what you say, just let your mouth pop off for whatever possible opportunity. If you're the type of person that doesn't care how somebody feels about what you're saying, if you're the type of person that doesn't pay attention to how you show yourself in the world or how you represent your relationship, then that might be the type of person that you attract. And that's the reason why a lot of people who don't do the healing work stay in a funky cycle of being with the same type of people. And they end up turning around and blaming all men or blaming all women because of the fact that you didn't do the work on yourself. You stayed in a low functioning, low vibration type of energy, and that's what you ended up attracting to yourself. Once you're able to put in the work to become somebody who does pay attention to their words, who does pay attention to how they represent their relationship, and who does pay attention to how the things that you say and do affects the person that you're with, that is when you will attract somebody that's worthy of that. And I think that that's the difference. We have to, when putting up your standards and what you want from somebody, look at yourself and what's the standard that you hold yourself to, so that you can understand, who is it that I'm going to be attracting? When I put out that energy and say, I want somebody to be with me, am I asking to have all of these things from my partner that I don't expect from myself? And that's how I look at what she said. You know, being able to say, I'm popping off at the mouth, I have an attitude and everything, but I want to attract a man that's just going to put up with that, and he's going to be patient, and he's going to be loving, and he's going to be all of these things. But then not being the type of person that expects that from themselves. With that being the case, what are you putting out there that you'll be drawing back to yourself? I liked the fact that they talked about both sides of it. Like I said, we often will look at one side of it without looking at the other. And I think specifically as it relates to women, what we tend to do is talk about what we want from somebody and what makes them worthy of being with us. But then when we talk about our own worth, we only say, well, I'm just worthy because I'm me. If that's the case, then you should be looking for somebody who is just worthy because they are them, not because of what they do for you. Other than that, you do have to bring something to the table if you want to have somebody who brings all the things that you want to the table. Just something to talk about today. I thought that all parts of this interview was very interesting, and I didn't get through the whole two and a half hours, but I did watch a good portion of it. Tell me what y'all think. I'm going to put my social media information right here like I always do, and I want y'all to get on there and check it out. I have a couple posts that I put on there and different videos and pictures and everything, so please stay tuned. Link in with me. Let me know what's up. Also, I'm going to put the information for my YouTube right here as well, and I want y'all to go ahead and subscribe, click the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I do put up videos and be the first one to know. Give me some likes, show me some love, you know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, in between time, peace.